بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. قال الله تعالى: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: وقل الحق من ربكم فمن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر إنا أعتدنا للظالمين نارا أحاط بهم سرادقها وإن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل يشوي الوجوه بئس الشراب وساءت مرتفقا إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا نضيع أجر من أحسن عملا أولئك لهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتهم الأنهار يحلون فيها من أساور من ذهب ويلبسون ثيابا خضرا من سندس واستبرق متكئين فيها على الأرائك نعم الثواب وحسنت مرتفقا. These verses in Surah Al-Kahf, verse 29, 30, and 31. Now.
Say, now the truth has come from your Lord. Let those who wish to believe in it do so, and let those who wish to reject it do so. We have prepared a fire for the wrongdoers that will envelop them from all sides. If they call for relief, they will be relieved with water like molten metal, scalding their faces. What a terrible drink, what a painful resting place. As for those who believe and do good deeds, we do not let the reward of anyone who does a good deed go to waste. They will have gardens of lasting bliss graced with flowing streams. There they will be adorned with bracelets of gold. There they will wear green garments of fine silk and brocade. There they will be comfortably seated on soft chairs. What a blessed reward, what a pleasant resting place.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah wa ba'd. First of all, I would like to start by saying I'm very grateful and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for restarting this course and coming back after a long trip overseas. And it's always great to be back to you, to my community. And I can tell you, no matter where I travel, I could not come across good people as my own community, alhamdulillah. So I'm so proud, and nothing can fulfill me, no matter where I go. I'm so proud of that, and I'm very grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, I would like to thank Brother Ammar for the wonderful classes that he's been giving, alhamdulillah, during these few weeks that I wasn't here. And we want to keep this day always a day of ilm, a day of knowledge, a night of learning. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let us be able to keep it up this way, inshallah, for centuries and decades to come. We will continue now. Just to remind you, last time we finished the story of Al-Kahf, the young men who went to Al-Kahf to hide in it, afraid of their people because they were believers and their people were disbelievers. And we talked about also the benefits and the lessons we learned from this story. And we heard last time I was here, what ulama rahimahullah said in regard to the verse when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to keep himself with those who call upon their Lord in the night, in the day and the night. And we said that this is important for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to keep himself in the company of righteous people, in the company of people who committed to the deen. So what about us? What about you and I? no doubt we are in greater need of being in the company of righteous people more than Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Allah even forbade him to look away from their side, like to look to other people, just to focus his heart, his mind, his eyes, all attached to those righteous one. And he forbade him to follow the footsteps of those who are heedless, those who have follow their desires. And in this verse we learn many lessons. Remember, we mentioned about 10 lessons just from that verse, that those who follow their desires are not people to be followed, are not true leaders. And following desires can be manifested in many ways. One of it, Ahlul Bid'ah, the people of innovations. All the people of innovations, Ahlul Ahwa, as the Salaf used to call them, following of desires, because they don't follow the proof, what they see as a correct evidence. Also, those who follow their desires against the haqq, against the truth, because their desires control them instead of them controlling their desires. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after He told Muhammad sallam to stay patiently with those who are righteous, with those who are on the straight path, with those who follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he made a very interesting statement after that. He said, وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. So you stay with those people. Then he said, not because you are with those righteous one, it means you don't give da'wah to others. It doesn't mean that you don't communicate with others. It doesn't mean that you don't reach out to other people and to give them the truth. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and say, Ya Muhammad, to all people, the truth is from your Lord. قُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. Then you have to come to realize this fact, that there will be people who will believe in this truth, and there is people who reject this truth. So, فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ. Whoever wills, let him believe. And whoever wills, let him disbelieve. So here, this verse shows you that your belief and your disbelief, it's your own choice. It's made by your own will. You choose to believe and you choose to disbelieve. So because of that, it's your own will. You, the one who made that decision, you will be held responsible for it in the day of judgment. And because of that, also, we've been asked to give da'wah to people. That's right. Because if it's not your decision, there is no point from giving da'wah. If Allah made you disbeliever, there is no point for me to ask you to follow the right path or to accept Islam or to believe, because khalas, it's Allah wants you that way. I can't change Allah's will. If it's a matter of something predetermined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you have no choice in it. But that's not the reality. The truth is that you make that choice. That's why we give the person a da'wah. That's why we always try to persuade people to the way of Jannah. We try to convince them to make that decision. But we cannot force anyone to be a Muslim. Also, it shows you, this verse tells you that whatever Allah have revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is al-haqq. وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. Whatever that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have revealed to Muhammad is al-haqq. That implies what? يسمونه مفهوم المخالفة. Implies that other than what's been revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is either falsehood or not pure haqq, not pure truth. There is right and good in it, but it's not as perfect as what Allah have revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, Ya Muhammad, whatever guidance I've given to you, it is the absolute truth. Any other guidance than the guidance that Allah have provided to humanity, it's a guidance, either it's a falsehood, it's a misguidance, or it's a guidance that has truth in it and mixed with falsehood. يعني ليس حقا صافيا. But what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is an absolute truth. So, say, Ya Muhammad, the truth that have come to you from your Lord. What that means, the truth? The truth referring to what? Al-haqq. what's the truth that is meant here in this verse? Some ulama rahimahumullah ta'ala said, the truth about these young men who went to the cave. يعني قل لهم الحق في نبأ هؤلاء الفتية. Tell what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam have told you now in this story is the right, is correct. This is the truth. That's what exactly happened. It's not like what they're written in the books of the people of the book about these young men who hide in the cave. So this Quran telling you the absolute truth about these young men and what their story was. That's one opinion. Other ulama said, no, it is, the concept is, Ya Muhammad, whatever you have received from your Lord is the truth. So it's a very general. It's a very general. يعني يكون مبتدأ وخبره من ربك. يعني الحق من ربك. يعني أي الحق هو ما جاء من ربك. The truth is what come from Allah. So that will means the story of the young men who went to the cave and every other thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in His book. And it's very interesting if you want to pay attention to how the Quran said it. وَقُولِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. Tell them, Ya Muhammad, the truth that come to you from their Lord. He didn't say from your Lord. That's right. What would be the difference? If he said, this is the truth from my Lord, versus this is the truth from your Lord. If you say, my Lord, kind of excluding them, pushing them away. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inviting them by telling them, this is the truth from your Lord. As He's the Lord of Muhammad, He's the Lord of Hamza, and He's the Lord of Yusuf, and He's the Lord of Layla, and He's the Lord of this one and that one. So He's the Lord of all of you. And this truth from your Lord. And that's tahbib lahum li al-iman. Then He said to them, فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. If whoever wills to believe, let him believe. Whoever wills to disbelieve, let him disbelieve. And this is after you explain to them, not before. After you explain to them. If they choose to disbelieve, that's up to them. You have done your role, Ya Muhammad, which is you deliver the message. And that's not only Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's all of us. I think it is so important for us to understand this concept. We are responsible for al-balagh. We are responsible for delivering the message. We're not responsible for how people will react or will accept the message or not. My point is to explain the truth. My point is to make sure that they understand what Islam is, what's our position is. And after that, let it be their choice to make. And they will be held accountable in front of their Lord in the day of judgment. Is this verse give the human beings the choice to choose whatever they want? Is like both are siyan and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and His eyes both are same? Those who believe and those who disbelieve. Yani when Allah said, so those who wills to believe, let them believe, and those who wills to disbelieve, let them disbelieve. Does that mean Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, oh, everybody, is okay. It doesn't matter which way you want. هل هذا التخيير مراد؟ العلماء رحمهم الله said, no. It means, some ulama said, no, this verse actually means, those whoever Allah wills, they will be a believer. And those who Allah wills, they will be disbelievers. فَمَنْ شَاءَ يعني مَنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ سيؤمن وَمَنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ سيكفر. So the translation will be then, whoever wills, whoever Allah want or will for him or her to be a believer, they will be a believer. And that's Ibn Abbas said that. So وقال فمن شاء الله أن يؤمن. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, while for him to be a believer or her, he or she will be a believer. And another opinion said, no, that's kind of linguistically maybe a challenging a little bit, and it's not clear. I think the verse, he said, no, we keep the verse as it seems to be. Whoever wills to be a believer, let him choose to be a believer. Whoever wills to be a disbeliever, let him or her choose to be a disbeliever. But this is not because Allah wants to give them the choice. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is warning them. You have the ability to make the choice. So make sure that you make the right choice. It's like I tell, like Dr. Musa telling me, okay, Waleed, don't eat sweet. Because your blood sugar is high. And you are overweight. And you need to lose weight. And you have high blood pressure. And you have, when you go to the doctor. They tell you all this stuff. So he keep telling me. Then in the end he tell me, but it's up to you. You want to keep doing what you're doing? Do it. Is that means, the doctor told me go eat and I'm going to sue him, inshallah. When I got heart attack, I go sue. No, he basically, he give me yes because it's my choice to make. But that's a threat actually. Whatever you want, I explained to you. So that's what this verse means. Also, some said, فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ يعني أن الله مستغن عنكم فلا يضره كفركم ولا ينفعه إيمانكم. قالها على سبيل الاستغناء لا على سبيل التهديد. Another group of scholars said, this verse actually means whoever wills to believe, whoever wills to disbelieve, it means I don't care. Allah saying to them, if you believe, it's for yourself. If you disbelieve, it's against yourself. You're not going to benefit me if you believe, and you're not going to harm me if you disbelieve. So it's not about threatening them to disbelieve. No, it's showing them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not get anything out of your belief. Because some Asian believe, a'udhu billah, so kufr, thought that God get his power from people. If people pray to God, this God became powerful. Or people, the more they worship, they benefit God. That's not true. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not like that. يا عبادي لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم كانوا على أتقى قلب رجل واحد منكم ما زاد ذلك في ملكي شيئا. Oh my servants, of all of you from the beginning to the end, the human and the jinn, all of you became like the most righteous person I ever created. Who's the most righteous person you can think of, human being Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can you imagine if all humanity became a copy from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He said, Allah saying, that will not increase me in any form. It will not benefit me in any way. And all of you became like the worst of all humanity. Think of the worst human being or the worst creation, shaitan. You will not harm me anyway, in any shape or any way. So that's the reality. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this because He doesn't really care, or it's not a care maybe, because it does not benefit Him for you to be a believer, nor it will harm Him if you became a disbeliever. طيب. But after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell them, hey, choose whatever you want and you will face the consequences of your choice, He showed them what is the consequences of that choice. Allah building the case. So after that He said to them, إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ نَارًا. Ya Allah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we have prepared. Allah Himself have prepared. So it's something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself supervised. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself have made. What? Prepare what? He prepared subhanahu wa ta'ala for the zalimeen, Al-Zalimin here means the disbelievers, because every disbeliever is a zalim, transgressor. Or every disbeliever, a fire. The question in the beginning of the verse said, whoever wills to disbelieve. Why did he say, I prepared for the disbeliever? Why he choose the word transgressors, zalimin? Why he changed it now? She transgressed against yourself by being kufr, by saying and doing the kufr. And also to show you that you deserve. So it's not about only kufr, because you transgress against your Lord, transgressed against yourself. And when you became a disbeliever, it doesn't stop there. There are so many other things comes with it as well. Anyway, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, a fire, إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ نَارًا. So this is a fire that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made and created for the disbelievers. Why did he refer to himself as we here? We prepared. Because that means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created it and included in this many other creations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have assigned to make this hellfire ready to receive those zalimin. Like the angels who guard it, like the things that he created inside it. Okay? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَحَاطَ بِهِمْ سُرَادِقُهَا. As-suradiq, the word suradiq, that it is surrounded with suradiq. What is suradiq? Suradiq is the wall that basically contain things, or the wall that is around something. Like if in Egypt, if you guys are familiar with some of the, in Egypt, for example, when somebody die, they bring something called suradiq. They bring like a tent, like a wall made of cloth, and this wall they build it all the way and make it like a U shape, and people sit inside. They call this suradiq because that basically it's like a tent. It's around people from all sides. So this fire surround the people inside it from all sides. There is actually wall inside it made of fire, as Ibn Abbas said, that surround people from all sides. So it's not just a fire. You can imagine there is fire, I walk into it, then leave. No, there's actually a wall restricting anyone from getting out. Stuck inside this place. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Okay? Some others said, no, actually, as-suradiq, it is something in the hellfire, comes out of it, and it is called unuq. It's like a neck that stick out from the hellfire and will go surround the disbelievers in the day of judgment and suck them inside the hellfire. And that's also been narrated by by some of the Salaf. Said no, what's surrounding them is not a wall. It's actually a very thick smoke. The suradiq that's surrounding the people inside the fire, a smoke that is so thick, so dark, filled with fire and terrifying things that surround the people inside the hellfire. انطلقوا إلى ظل ذي ثلاث شعب لا ظليل ولا يغني من اللهب. In Surah Al-Mursalat, basically it is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that this dhil, this clouds that looks like going to provide a shade, but it provides nothing but fire and torturing. There is even a very interesting opinion, but it's very weak, and I'm mentioning because those who read the books this year, they said actually here the verse talk about not the fire in the day of judgment. It actually talk about this earth. And they said that human beings are surrounded by water from all sides. So they said the suradiq, it's actually the water of the ocean that's surrounding all lands. Because those who adopt this opinion, they have another idea, which is that the fire actually underneath the oceans, underneath the water. They said in the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring this fire, which is underneath the ocean, to the top of the ocean. That's why in the day of judgment, Allah told us that the bihar, the seas and the oceans will turn to be fire. So actually they believe, and there is many narrations like this, but all of them are either weak narrations, or some of the tabi'een, the successor, or even some of the sahaba, or the followers of the tabi'een. They said something like that. They said that there is a fire underneath all these oceans, and basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling the zalimeen that the fire already surrounding you from all sides in this dunya until the time comes and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed it to appear, and it will lead to the major fire, which is the hellfire that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have created. And when people inside that place, this hellfire, they will be screaming, asking, يستغيثوا. And الاستغاثة هي طلب الغوث في حال الهلع والشدة. You ask for help while you're desperate. So those people of the hellfire are so desperate. Desperate for what? When you are in fire, what you need? Water. When you're in heat, you need water. So they are desperate for any type of water, thinking that the water will take the heat, will put away the fire, or it will take the thirst and make it a little bit cooler for them. That's what they familiar with, the water that they're familiar with. So they are screaming, water, water. We need any kind of water just to come to take away all this suffering away. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِن يَسْتَغِيثُوا. And when they ask for help, for relief, they will be granted this relief. But they will be granted a relief of water, but not like any other water. It's a boiling water. وَإِن يَسْتَغِيثُوا يُغَاثُوا بِمَاءٍ كَالْمُهْلِ. La ilaha illallah. That the relief will come in the form of in the water that it is boiling. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said will scald their faces. يشوي الوجوه. Yani this water, when you bring it close to your face, you're basically the flesh in your face will melt. Just before you drink it. That's why people will not drink it. Because the moment they just come closer to it, it will melt their flesh from the heat. That's why in the other verse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يُصَبُّ مِن فَوْقِ رُؤُوسِهِمُ الْحَمِيمُ. That they will not be able to drink. So the water will be poured on the top of them. And it will go through their body and will melt everything inside their body. And the worst part is not that. The worst part is this will not lead to death. That's the worst part. You know, if this happened, khalas, you die and that's it. That's not the worst part. It doesn't even make the persons die. Others said no. Actually, this muhl, it is يقولون العلماء هو دردري الزيت. What that means? You know, if you ever go to, if you work in a fast food restaurant or like, they fried things. If you ever fried things, then you became a little bit conservative with the oil. Okay, you don't basically throw the oil. You refry it again, and you refry it again, you refry it again. By the end of the day, what will be in the bottom of that pot? Or that black things? That's al-muhl. That's what the relief is. That dark part burned oil, boiling oil. It's not really water. That's what Ibn Abbas said and Ibn Mas'ud. Mujahid said, it's actually whatever, whenever this fire boil and burn everybody in it, what will be in the bottom of the fire is mix of blood, mixed of all melting flesh. That thing in the bottom of the hellfire, that's what will be giving to them in the form of drink. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. And if this is the case, that means it is dark, it is boiling, it is thick, it is have bad smell because it's a very burning part. All these are description we can understand from the word muhl. Yashwi al-wujuh. And it will said that the flesh of your face will basically melt just before you drink it. So what do you think if it goes inside your body? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, but those who disbelieved will have cut out for them garments of fire, poured upon their heads will be scalding water, by which is melted that within their bellies and their skins. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Hajj. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, بِئْسَ الشَّرَابُ وَسَاءَتْ مُرْتَفِقًا. The worst, basically, terrible is the drink. And an evil, a dwelling and resting place this is. Nas'al Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-afiyah. Why it is the worst of drink? Because of its smell, because of its impact, because of its taste, because of the punishment and the severity of it. وَسُقُوا مَاءً حَمِيمًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they will be offered a water, giving a drink, scalding water, that will sever their bellies, intestines. تسقى من عين آنية. يعني آنة في الحر، يعني امتلأ حرها أو اشتد حرها. They will be giving a drink from a boiling spring in the hellfire. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described it in Surah Al-Ghashiyah, and before that Surah Muhammad, verse 5. إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما. It's the worst place to live, it's the worst place to rest, it's the worst place to be in. وَالْمُرْتَفَقْ here, it means a place that usually people rest and lean in it and spend time relaxing. But there is no such place in hellfire to relax. It's very interesting. I don't know if you remember or not. Do you remember what I told you about the verse when I said Allah ordered Muhammad to be in the company of the righteous and the believers? Why he ordered them this? Because the people of Kuffar Quraysh, they said, we want to hang out and sit with people of dignity and people who are rich. And I don't want to sit with the slaves. I don't want to sit with these people who look bad, smell bad, they don't dress well. I don't want to be hanging with this. I want to be sitting in our lofty couches and nice places. And, that's what they want. That's right. And it'll be arrogant. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mocking them in this verse. He said, if you feel that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's companions are not worth of spending time and relaxing with them, and you think this is something bad, wait until you see the hellfire. That's what sa'at murtafaqa. That was the worst place to rest. That is the worst place to be. That's the most stinky, annoying, terrifying place to be ever to be. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here يقرعهم and mocking them because they don't want to be hanging out with the believers in the dunya. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to them, you will be hanging out with the disbeliever in hellfire. If you don't feel like you are good enough to be, or they are not good enough to be with you, sitting in Dar al-Nadwa, and you think you are better than being in Dar al-Arqam with the Prophet ﷺ and his companions, and you look down upon them, wait until you go to the next life, and where you will be gathering? In the hellfire. It is important for the da'iyah, for the du'at ila Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to know that their responsibility is to deliver the message of truth. We don't change it. We don't change the truth thinking that this will make it fit people's desires. No. Our responsibility in front of Allah to deliver the message as it is. But I'm not saying when we deliver the message we feel that's it, we're not responsible for the reaction of the people. Yes, we're not responsible in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for people's reaction, but we should make sure, we should always review our technique, our strategy, our way of giving da'wah to make sure that it's effective, to make sure that people are learning and understanding the message and the truth that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down to His creation. We have to represent this truth not only through words but also through actions. One of the things that turn people away from the haqq is when you see the person himself away from that haqq. We have to put every effort that we can offer to deliver that truth to people. There is no doubt that the person gets happy when you see the result of your actions. There's no doubt about that. You give da'wah to people and people accept the haqq and the da'wah, you became very happy. And we know the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he said, عُرِضَتْ عَلَيَّ الْأُمَمِ, I was able to see the nations that it will come in the day of judgment. It's a vision, the vision that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to see what will happen in the day of judgment. So he said, فَرَأَيْتُ أُمَّتِي ثُمَّ رَأَيْتُهُمْ فَأَعْجَبَنِي كَثْرَتُهُمْ وَهَيْئَتُهُمْ وَقَدْ مَلَأُوا السَّهْلَ وَالْجَبَلَ قيل أرضيت يا محمد قال قلت نعم قال إن لك من هؤلاء 70,000 يدخلون الجنة بغير حساب ولا عذاب وهم الذين لا يسترقون ولا يكتوون وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. هذا لفظ ابن حبان رحمه الله. That the Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم said, I saw my nation, my ummah, so huge, it looks so nice, so bright. And angel, or I will be told, are you happy with the result of your da'wah? I said, yes, I'm so happy that I see so many people became Muslim. So many people followed me. So many people go to Jannah. Yes, I'm so happy. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, said, not only that, there is 70,000 among them will enter Jannah without being questioned. Straight to paradise. No question, no judgment, nothing. Straight to paradise. Those the one who do not seek ruqyah. They don't ask people to give them ruqyah because not because they don't want to be healed, no, because they don't trust and depend on anyone else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا يَكْتَوُونَ. They don't, al-kay, which is basically, what's al-kay, Ammar? Branding. In that culture, they use branding as a form of healing, okay? And a lot of people believe that the brander, the one who brand, is a healer. So that heart can attach to the healer. It's like I go to the doctor and I feel the doctor is a healer. I don't believe the doctors are healers. Doctors are just means. But if my heart somehow attached to someone that this one, he really can save me, that's not the heart of the absolute true believer. The absolute true believer's heart is only attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The means are means. It will never be seen as acting in its own or fully in its own. Then he said, and those who have absolute trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is out of Allah's mercy that He doesn't hold us accountable for the result of our actions and our da'wah. It is out of Allah's mercy. You do your effort, you get full reward for it. What's the outcome? it's not in your hand. That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in the Day of Judgment, a prophet would come with one follower, with two followers, with no followers. All his life giving da'wah, nothing happened. Ibrahim, can anyone here claim that he's better than Ibrahim? Ibrahim alayhi salam, the father of the Prophet, spent 85 years of his life or 89 years of his life in Iraq. 0 Muslims, 0 person accepted Islam. Not a single person accepted Islam. Can we call him a failure? No. Yes, he failed to convince them, but he did his job. He succeeded in delivering the message. But the result is not in his hand, and that's out of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. Also, I want you to know that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said we prepare for the zalimeen, the hellfire, it really gives us as a believer a very important lesson, which is the right way to look at the struggle between truth and falsehood is to look at the end result, not the temporary situation. The end result is the hellfire for the disbelievers. The end result is Al-Jannah for the believers. That's the real struggle between falsehood and truth. And you have to look that far to see where this will end, where this will take you. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ. Those who hate you, Muhammad, are cut off. You know, now people so irritated by some of these politicians who are running for presidents these days, statements about Islam and Muslims. And they feel threatened. Oh, what if he win? Even if he win the election, what do you think is going to happen? You know, Islam will remain centuries after these and decades and hundreds of years after these individuals gone and forgotten. No matter how high they will go, and one day they will fall. But this religion will remain. Who you think will remain? Who you think will remain? A country or a government or a state or a religion of Islam? A religion of Islam. At one point, maybe even this country will not exist. Will be something else. Will be another country, another way. But the religion will remain. It's a longer, basically, goal that you have always to keep your eyes on, which is the next life. And that will show you the real meaning of this struggle between the truth and the falsehood. And I'm saying this because sometimes when we become so frustrated, you know, we don't see any result in Syria. I'll give you something worse than Syria. Is there anything worse than Syria? I'll give you something worse than Syria. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, in Surah Al-Buruj, about Ashab al-Ukhdud, those who dug trench in the earth, and they bring the babies and they burn them alive. Bring mothers and they burn them alive. Put oil and light it up and all fire, and they bring everybody who say La ilaha illallah, everybody who believe in Allah, they will burn them alive. You know what's interesting? Read Surah Al-Buruj again. You will never find anything in this verse saying that Allah destroyed those people. Allah destroyed that dictators, that king or his army. Not a single indication that Allah have punished them or destroyed them in this dunya. Nothing in the Quran talked about that. But the verse reminds us that Inna Rabbaka labil mirsad, that Allah is watching, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have the day of judgment. He mentioned the day of judgment to tell you that even if you go away with a crime in this dunya, you will never go away with it in the hereafter. That's why there is a judgment day, because this dunya is not the end. And the moment you don't see that, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. What happened? One of the following. If you always see that this struggle is so short and limited to this dunya, the result will be one of things. Number one, if you don't see the victory and you rush to the victory and you don't see it happening, one of the following things will happen to you. Number one, you start giving up, discounting your religion just to get a temporary win. تبدأ تتنازل من أجل النصر. You start giving up things and discounting and compromising principle just because you want to achieve a quick victory. And if that's not the case, the other case is the other extreme, which is you became so extreme. Okay, you say, I've been following the rules, I've been playing the game according to the rules, I'm doing everything correct, I'm moderate, and I'm this. It's not working. So what happened? That's what happened. People got frustrated, so they became extremists. Start using illegal and haram way of showing and releasing their anger and frustration. Why do you think most of these extremist group coming out of? ISIS and Al-Qaeda and all these, most of them are the result of so much oppressions and so much injustice and so much torturing and so much hate and frustration in their life that they could not find a way to release their anger and channel it in the right way, so they did it in the wrong way because they want victory, they want change. And that's what happened. So it's either you go that way or that way. And some people even quit. When they don't see change, when they don't see victory happening, they quit. يستسلمون للواقع تماما. And they became, a'udhu billah, some of them leave the religion, leave the deen. He said, I've been struggling. I give you an example, just simple example. Let's say here in the masjid, we try to encourage the community to participate. You know what? People don't respond very well. I don't see the victory of my case. I don't see the result. So I have three choices. Either I say, you know what, I did my role, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward me for it, and things will be go, and I feel happy and continue doing what I'm doing. But if I'm always want to see the result quickly, and if it doesn't happen, I will get either very angry at the community and start lashing at everyone, mocking, being sarcastic, being mean to people. Or I will start compromising and asking for things which is not right. And you know what? Start saying, oh, maybe we should do some parties here. And other people from other religion found out if you bring a band and you start music, people come to church, and that's exactly, you don't see the result. Maybe I start doing things that I believe it's haram, but I'm doing it now just because I want people to come. Or I just give up. I quit. Said, you know what? But I have business. Well, why would I have headache? Just quit. So this is very interesting point to keep in mind. You always keep your eyes on the true price, the true result, which is Al-Jannah, which is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have prepared for us. And that's why the next verses is talking about that. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, those who believed and did good deeds, certainly we should not make the reward for them. So they believed and they did good deeds. We'll stop here, inshallah. Next week we will continue talking about this verse and the following. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yarzuqna wa iyyakum fiqha fi ad-din. Sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.